This year, Grand Seiko updated their iconic Evolution 9 collection both in the spring drive and the high beat mechanical variants. So today we are looking at 5 watches from the U.F.A spring drive collection, and instead of just focusing on the design and the specifications, which we will get to, let's quickly run through what exactly the U.F.A spring drive is, what makes it different from your standard spring drive, and what this obsession with accuracy says about Grand Seiko as a brand. In other words, we'll see why Grand Seiko is just on another level. The Evolution 9 collection was launched in 2020, during the brand's 60th anniversary. But in short, the Evolution 9 style builds upon the 9 strict codes that make up Grand Seiko's grammar of design. These codes were introduced in 1967 in the iconic 44 GS case. But at the time, the watch scene leaned heavily towards dressier style. So the Evolution 9 style builds upon those codes and modernizes them without removing any of the codes. That's why the Evolution 9 watches have a lower center of gravity. That's why the bracelets are broad and thick so as to match the heft of the case. The case and bracelet don't just look but feel seamless on the wrist. Nothing sticks out. They're made with daily versatility and extreme level of comfort in mind. The spring drive is often described as a hybrid system. It still has the mainspring, it still has the traditional winding mechanism, including a winding crown and a rotor in the automatic versions. It even has a gear train to transfer energy from the mainspring. But the biggest difference between spring drive and mechanical is how the energy is regulated. A mechanical watch uses an escapement to regulate the release of energy from the gear train. Spring drive does away with that completely and instead uses a one-way glide wheel whose speed is controlled by Grand Seiko's tri-synchro regulator. So just like a mechanical watch, you wind it, mainspring stores energy, and as the mainspring unwinds, it drives the gear train, which in turn drives the glide wheel. The glide wheel spins continuously at around 8 revolutions per second, and as it rotates, it generates a tiny amount of electricity which powers the quartz oscillator and a vacuum-sealed integrated circuit, or IC. The quartz oscillator provides an extremely stable reference signal, and the IC compares that reference with the actual speed of the glide wheel. If the glide wheel moves too quickly, the IC applies electromagnetic braking to keep its speed precisely regulated. The tri-synchro regulator is essentially the brain of the whole system, combining mechanical, electrical, and electromagnetic energies to regulate the speed of the glide wheel. And because the glide wheel isn't stopping and starting like a traditional escapement, it can rotate continuously in one direction. That gives spring drive its incredibly smooth seconds hand while also achieving incredible accuracy. Now, it's important to note one thing. While the modern spring drive is based on the 9R series that was introduced in 2004, the whole concept of spring drive goes all the way back to 1977, and it came from an engineer at Seiko, Yoshikazu Akane. And once the 9R series of spring drive movements was introduced in 2004, Grand Seiko continued to develop and refine the technology. The 9RA calibers arrived in 2020, bringing improvements including a longer 5-day power reserve before Grand Seiko took another major step forward with the 9RB series, featuring the spring drive ultra fine accuracy, or U.F.A. Now, before we talk more about the U.F.A, let's look at the watches first. We have 5 watches here. We've got 4 watches in steel, one of which is in a compact 37mm case, while the rest are in 40mm, and then one 40mm variant in titanium. Let's start with the 40mm versions in steel. We have the SLGB009 White Birch, SLGB011 Atera Valley, and this navy blue dial variant, the SLGB013 Lake Suwa. The watches come in 40mm ever brilliant steel cases with a thickness of 11.7mm, a lug-to-lug of 47.2mm, and a lug width of 22. Box sapphire crystal on top with AR coating on the inner side of the crystal, 100 meters of water resistance with the screw-down crown, and the new 9RB2 spring drive U.F.A automatic movement inside. Besides the movement and materials, one of the biggest updates is the bracelet, which now tapers from 22 to 18mm at the clasp, which has also been updated to include Grand Seiko's 3-step on-the-fly micro-adjustment system in 2mm increments for a comfortable fit throughout the day. We have nature-inspired dials inspired by elements around Grand Seiko's manufacturers and studios. The SLGB's 009 has a silvery white dial inspired by white birch forests near the Shinshu Watch Studio. The SLGB 013 has a navy blue dial inspired by Lake Suwa, also located near the studio. And the SLGB 011 has a teal dial inspired by crystal clear emerald waters of the Atera River in Nagano Prefecture. Respecting the Evolution 9 design codes, the dials, regardless of how artistic they are, still fall into the backdrop and don't overshadow the multifaceted hands and markers, maintaining excellent legibility regardless of the dial configuration. And this can be most appreciated on the white birch model. While the first generation Evolution 9 watches in 2021 came in standard stainless steel cases and bracelets, this updated generation comes in ever brilliant stainless steel, a proprietary alloy that maintains a better shine and corrosion resistance than standard stainless steel. As for the SLGB 007, this is the first time that we have a titanium variant within the Evolution 9 collection, constructed out of Grand Seiko's high-intensity titanium that not only maintains improved shine and corrosion resistance like the ever-brilliant steel, but is also significantly more scratch-resistant than standard Grade 5 titanium. The watch has this gradient black dial with a warm brownish hue that looks incredible under bright light. Also, this model features a color-matched date window, while the rest of the models maintain a white backdrop with a textured date window that visually blends in with the rest of the applied indices. We also have, for the very first time, a smaller Evolution 9 spring drive, with the SLGB 015 Lake Suwa in a compact 37mm case with a thickness of 11.2mm, lug-to-lug of 44.3, and lug width of 20mm, with the bracelet tapering down to 17mm at the clasp. The teal looks playful, it's got a very strong personality. The Lake Suwa gives off that blue everyday elegant sports watch vibe. The Lake Suwa at night feels artistic because of the matte black and brown dial. It doesn't look like any regular black dial watch. But the white birch, in my opinion, is still the most elegant. But at the same time, as a very non-elegant guy, it's the one I would get and I would just rock it with a white t-shirt. And this brings us to the U.F.A, ultra fine accuracy. With the 9RB2, Grand Seiko essentially went back and re-examined both the electronic and mechanical sides of spring drive, looking for all tiny sources of potential errors that could affect its long-term accuracy. And this has resulted in this new spring drive variation having an accuracy of just plus minus 20 seconds per year, making the U.F.A 6 times more accurate than standard spring drive. And a big part of that comes from the quartz oscillator. Like the previous spring drive movements, the quartz crystals in the oscillator are aged for 3 months to stabilize their frequency, then sealed inside a vacuum package alongside the IC circuit. This helps protect it from things like humidity, static electricity, and light. But for the 9RB2, Grand Seiko also introduced new ways of relieving the internal stress within the quartz crystal. And this matters because over time, that stress can gradually change the frequency of the oscillator, causing tiny deviations in accuracy in the long run. The IC has also been redesigned to deal with these variations more precisely. The oscillator's frequency is checked 540 times per day, and the data is used for thermocompensation to keep the rate stable as temperature changes. Besides that, the 9RB2 also includes a regulation switch, allowing watchmakers to make fine adjustments during servicing to compensate for long-term drift. The mechanical side of the movement was also reworked. Instead of using 2 barrels like in the 9RA2 to achieve 120 hours of power reserve, the 9RB2 uses a single barrel and has 72 hours of power reserve. This was done for 2 reasons. One, in order to obtain higher energy efficiency between the gear train as a way to achieve better accuracy, they had to rely on a single barrel. Secondly, this was the only way that the spring drive movement could be reduced in size. That's why we now have a slimmer spring drive in a compact 37mm case. On a macro scale, there are a few reasons why the spring drive U.F.A is so impressive. They've also done things that show me that Grand Seiko is run by watch experts who are just obsessed with improving and perfecting their products even when everybody else thinks that they're fine. At most watch events, we see trained brand reps and CEOs talking about continuous evolutions, continuous improvements. But recently at a Grand Seiko event, the designer of the Ushio diver gave a talk, and in his presentation, he talked about how disappointed he was with some of his older projects. So much so that he wondered if he was worthy of having a title of designer at Grand Seiko. This guy has designed one of the best divers that I've seen this year, but this was his mindset. He was just not happy with his work, and he wanted to improve and perfect the watches, which resulted in the Ushio diver. So yeah, that's why I wanted to make this video. I think we just get lost in details, so much so that it can make us forget what the brand stands for on a bigger scale. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Which one is your favorite, and what do you think about the U.F.A spring drive? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.